she's coming. I need to talk to her too. I'm just gonna miss you, sweetie.
Pennsylvania. Made the drive in. You got the chassis drove in the team. Got the body today. Put together. Got minions all over the place. This is Jake Sherman's crash course number 424 car, based on a metric Cadillac. He's going all the way up in Cambridge, New York. Jake with the 425. And for the wagon. Appreciate that, guys. Looking up batteries. And best appearing car goes to... Woo!
Can you hear me in this? You got a headset? Got a headset? You do?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Where's your boy? Is he running?
The Crash Course Podcast is brought to you in part by DerbyParts.com. Overkill Derby products at OverkillDerby.com. Full Lockwood Motorsports and the 2015 Keystone National. Shipe Racing and ShipeRacing.com. Ultimate Derby and Blizzard Bash 2015. Demo Derby Master. Reckless Abandon Derby Apparel at RecklessAbandonGear.com. And Derby Inc. Magazine. Live it, breathe it, be it, Derby Inc.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Crash Course Live right here from Chaos in the Valley. Jake Sherman joining me at the table. What an event we had the opportunity to open with here a few minutes ago. Did a quick analysis of the failures of the Team Crash Course entries. Your purple and white metric Cadillac broken axle. So
Yeah, right off the bat. Rough.
sidelined that thing right quick, and then my car melted a transmission. Transmission completely trashed. Ed Brewster going in the books as second place, with Joshua Lee Farrell coming away with a win. Finished him off, pushing him up onto the dead car of Jim Aldrich, who bought that car over the week and bought the body when he got here, traveling all the way in from Pennsylvania. Got to run down to third, so it was good to see that. Did you have fun?
It was a blast. First time trying it, and I tell you what, I think I'm probably going to be hooked now.
We'll have to look at this axle situation, though. That was disappointing. I was
Yeah,
expecting
you
a
know
lot
what?
more.
It's still was a lot of fun.
I
And
think-
really nothing changes when you talk about the difference between the RC cars and the full-size cars. I mean, it really similar parts, similar things. You know, with him buying that car, getting it bodied today, going down and last-minute build, going down to Tractor Supply and get some last-minute parts and building it, put it together right here at the track. And
He had some work to do to get it there, but sure enough, he was able to get that put together. So here we are, Chaos of the Valley. We've got the Power Wheel scheduled to come up here in a little bit. We've got the Lawnmower Derby also on deck coming up here in just a little bit. We're going to be enjoying a full gamut of full-size and compact cars, in addition to the trucks here through the course of the day. I'm excited to be here. Beautiful day right here in the heart of the Blue Ridge Mountains. This is going to be a ton of fun.
that's it. Weather's great. I tell you, if you can see this track out here, it is like it's one level down from concrete. It's that hard. It's going to be a good fast track.
Our man James Faggert's trying to watch this thing through a Blu-ray player, and he's having a little bit of trouble getting the stream to work right now. Just checking everything local looks like we're in pretty good shape and set to go. Have you had the chance at all to walk around the pits, and specifically speaking now about the number 52 of Mark Wolf, the 1973 boat-tail Riviera that's here?
Yeah, that's a pretty interesting build. It looks to me like he solved all the problems with the early boat tails. You know, with them dumping in front of the wheel problem.
Well, he's got this interesting thing going on with the window bar that I really like. The window bar comes down straight to the center of the boat tail, where there's a piece of angle iron put the width of the window and stuffed right up into that hinge, on top of the 3-foot tall gas tank protector that is wedged into the back seat area. So I think that sufficiently would have covered it, but you can never have too many plan Bs. It looks like he's got arch plates on it, and when I was asking him about it, he said that the arch plates and some of the other fix-it plates on a car that's never been run before, that's built on a frame that's never been run before, that is black as black, he said were made out of steel that was cut out of a Wells Fargo bank safe.
Really?
So right away, we've got some interesting things going on, and behind that, we've been following closely the story of Sean Gokenauer, which you can call it a Ford but it's not a Ford, just like it's not a Mercury or a Crown Vic or an Imperial or, for that matter, an F-150 truck or
Yeah.
an ambulance for that either.
There's a little bit of everything in that car.
He was laboring to get through. I think I forgot Mercury. He was laboring to get through tech inspection. Not for sure if he's been able to do that. The car was up on jacks in the pits, and credit to whoever built the jacks to be able to lift the back of that thing up. So that's up in the air. Mike Klinger, full-size driver, is here.
Yes.
And there is a host of Imperials in the pits as well. We saw the number 51, which the rumor is circulating that it's Wayne Good. I knew he kept one car. I don't know if that's for sure him yet or not, because we got occupied with that RC Derby. But Power Wheels, order of the day, going to be rolling off here. Looks like about half hour or so. You had a chance to wander around the pits. Compacts have the opportunity to do whatever they need to do to make a bumper shock in the first 12 inches of frame. What did they do?
Pretty much that's just that. They made their own bumper. Most of the cars are homemade bumpers with homemade bumper shocks. Most of them box or square tubing, pushed in the first 12 inches. Very, very interesting builds down here. But I tell you, if they run as hard as they built them, we're looking for a good show, because these cars they're hard cars.
The front frame, the rear frame has been all boxed in on that Riviera.
Yes.
And I specifically asked him, because I'm starting to think along the lines of, we're going to be here all night because these cars are so hard. The only weak link is the drivers. The only elimination is going to be overheating, which isn't going to happen on this track because it's so dry, or instead, the driver's just simply knocked unconscious.
Yeah.
And I said, so is stuff going to bend here tonight? And he goes, you've been here before. You know what happens. And every time I've been here, stuff gets bent.
Yeah, I foresee a lot of broken wheels, not broken spindles. A Moxter truck out here at the track.
Can't get to it, guys. That was High Octane, I believe, was the name of that monster truck. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the camera angle adjusted to a point where we could see it. Looks like that was a cameo anyway.
Yeah,
he's headed on back to the
just a quick wave lap.
Yeah. I'm trying to see through the line. I have not seen Bill Orndorff pull in yet, but I know there was rumor that there was an enclosed trailer in the pit area. I'm not sure if that was Billy that was pulling in with that. Josh Wilkins, he's got the white cardiac arrest number 11X.
Yes.
You get a chance to look at that car at all?
Yes, that's very well built. There's certainly, the cars are pretty evenly built across the board, but there's a couple standouts that are built a little better, and he's one of them. He's going to have a good run tonight, I think.
We're going to be watching closely Brian Silvius. He's in the pits. I know the number 13 was here, the Waybrights. They're here. Saw those guys in the pits as well. Looks like the drivers' meeting is now the drivers congregating about where they usually do drivers' meetings. So Jason Shipe running this. This event is hosted by JPG Towing and Tom's Brook Fire Department. Jason Shipe and Penny Shipe work with Tom's Brook Volunteer Fire Department, and this is a benefit for them. They started this derby last year. Jason Koch coming away with the win in that event. Matt Davidson winning the compact division last year. We see the 425 roof sign in the pits. That truck was the winner last year here. I believe his first name's George. He's in the pits as well. They did this as a benefit, and it has taken off like crazy for them down here. So Jason was then contacted by Shenandoah County Fair Board to come in and do the Fair Derby, which he's changed the face of the fair as well. And what he did with the second night of activity, they had a short field of V8 cars. They had a pretty strong field of compacts. They ran a qualifying heat of 4 cylinders and a qualifying heat of 6 cylinders, then a consolation round, and gave those 4-cylinder guys and 6-cylinder guys a chance to run together in a feature, which they haven't been offered before. Previously at the fair, it was Monday night and Tuesday night program was pretty much the same. You had heats for the V8s, and then a run and done for the 4s, one run for the 6s separate of that, and then they moved into the feature. Rarely did they even need a consolation round. So he changed that up a lot, got a lot of fan support, got a lot of driver support from the compact ranks, and they have turned out in droves today. I bet you they got to be approaching 50, 60 compacts back there.
Yeah, I would certainly think so. They got them lined up. It looks like, I think there's 4 rows, and there's got to be at least 15 in each row. pretty good mix of cars too. Of course, there's a lot of W bodies, but there's a few Camrys mixed in, a
Yeah.
couple Subarus. Pretty good mix of compact cars.
Let's see what we got here. Somebody weighing in.
It's interesting. I was watching tech inspection, and their rules from where I run are a little different. And I'm here watching tech. Now we have cars basically with stuffed frames, at least for the first 12 inches. And it seemed like most of the cars were turned back to the pits for too many welds on their doors, on the doors. They're allowed 3 welds per seam on the compacts, or 3 welds per vertical seam, I believe. And some of them had more, and they had to cut them extra welds off. So it's kind of an interesting thing, when you got basically plates holding the front together. They got like a lot of the WB bodies will have the sub plated right up against and welded up against the body, and then they're sent back for just a weld on the door. It's a very, very different dynamic from where we are.
Did you feel that it was fair though? Everybody was treated equally.
Oh yeah. Everything looked like it was treated equally. A couple of the guys, I guess the issue last year on the compacts anyway, the rules say the car's got to bounce, they got to move. You can't have solid suspensions. There was a few guys with solid suspensions, and they went through and they had to cut or do whatever they had to do to make them function again or be more stock than what they were. And
So what do you do? How do you do that at the track with one of those cars?
well, it depends on what they did to make them solid, I guess, is the question there. But most of them just had to either just cut a plate on the bottom arm there. That's what it looked like anyway. Strategy-wise, I don't know if really welding them solid suspensions really helps them all that much anyway. Usually they just rip right off anyway when you try to beef them up.
I've seen that plenty of times. I've seen over at Chautauqua County in Dunkirk one time. We were there and they had one of those W bodies and it ripped apart right behind the front seat, but it stayed connected at the taillight panel.
Yeah.
Scott, I believe, was the driver of that car, number 112. And when he pulled forward, the front lip where it ripped apart dug into the dirt and it peeled apart the rest of the way. So you had the body of the car, and then it got to the taillights, and basically the undercarriage of the car with the rear wheels and the back seat floor were all facing the sky, trailing out behind it. Yeah, it was pretty wild. They loaded it that way. They put it right on the trailer that way. The back end was just flapping out behind it like a tail.
Nice.
Did you see the hot air balloon flying over here earlier?
I did see it.
I think they were waiting for the RC Derby.
Yeah, I believe so. Well, we got into town there late last night, and
What a trip.
Yeah, all the hotels were booked that we tried to get into. So I think I figured out what it was. Locally here, there's a local college.
JMW, James Madison
Yep.
University, has their homecoming game.
Homecoming today. Yeah.
And everybody has come into town. And when we asked at one of the hotels, they said, "Oh, well, they're all looking at fall foliage."
Yeah.
Overlooking the fact that JMW has drawn all these people here to the game. But I tell you what, looking around these grandstands, there's not a whole lot of empty seats either.
No, it's filling in pretty good. And there's quite a few people out in the pits yet. So once the show starts, I think we'll be right at capacity.
Nestled right in the heart of the Blue Ridge Mountains down here in the Shenandoah Valley, ready to bring you Chaos in the Valley, presented by JPG Towing, Jason Shipe, Penny Shipe, as a benefit to the Tom's Brook Volunteer Fire Department. Sounds like everything's pretty good at home. Everybody having a good time online. We'll get into some of that derby action here in just a little bit. Power Wheels are going to be out here first. Interesting cast of characters showed up here in the grandstands a little bit ago. Yeah. It was neat to see Brock and Bob come down from New York.
Yeah, Bob Dixon made it. It's got to be a good 6 hours or so for them, somewhere in that area. So they made the trip down, and I'm sure they're looking for some old iron to tear up. I know Bob's a Mopar guy, and I'm sure he's going to be happy with Klinger's performance today with that 66 New Yorker that he brought here today. And I tell you what, that looks like a good, solid build. Clean car, good build.
Trying to get one of our cameras back. What I'm going to do is, I know this is uneven and it's not the prettiest picture, but I'm going to use that so that I can adjust that other camera. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Watch that. Make sure that camera doesn't go down. This needs to work for about 10 seconds. Here we go. All right. And now you can see some of what's going on there on the track. So we're going to, I'm looking for a little bit of help from our friends at home. Tell me how loud that music is coming through. We only need a couple people just to let me know if that's bleeding over real bad or if we got to check some stuff here.
Now, by the looks of the track, is this a full-time horse track normally?
I don't think they run horses here much anymore at all.
No. It's definitely a hard surface, that's for sure.
Justin Hemphill. Good to talk to Justin. Justin's going to be running an RC car down at down in Topeka. Now let's touch on this RC Derby thing one more time. I had a ton of fun out there. My kid got best appearing car, which was awesome.
Yep.
And we put it in the hands of the fans. They voted, and they came through loud. And he did a nice job. He was trying, and then I think that battery that he's got is just not holding the charge or something. I gotta update his equipment a little bit, I guess. And the back end of mine spins like a mother.
Yeah.
But there's no transmission to hold it together. We're going to do that RC. I just heard a couple people over here to our side as you see some folks walk in front of our camera. They were just muttering to themselves about it, which was pretty cool to hear. You know, they really latched onto it. We've got another RC Derby coming up at Blizzard Bash in just a couple weeks. $2,700 purse. It's $1,000 to win.
That's a bigger prize than most of the local fairs I've run for several years.
So you got to get in on this now.
Oh, I'm in. There's no doubt about that. It was definitely humbling to see your drive shaft just flopping around under the car. You know, it's almost like when you're watching somebody else. You know, that's what's nice about the RCs. Like when you're watching a derby and you see it happen to somebody else, and you see somebody make it come in with a big hit, and then drive shaft pop and flop around under the car, and you're actually seeing it happen to you live. It's pretty cool. So we're just going to keep a little bit of an eye on that issue, the music in the background. We got to keep that as best we can off of there, so that we don't get in trouble with YouTube and they get mad at us. Not going to lie, it was a little disheartening to look at the inside of that when you said that you were on the throttle and I saw that thing flopping around and I had to give you this. It's like, you're all done, man. It's not even worth keeping going. Shut it down. I tell you what, though, the bodies did what I wanted to do. Yes.
The bodies were holding up great.
Yep.
Brad Witt said he was taking notes. Brad, he's out in Iowa. He's helping us out with the with that derby that's coming up here in Topeka down there, the RC show. So that was kind of neat. To hear that he was able to watch it. Happy that we could bring it to everybody live here on Crash Course Live. Chaos in the Valley is the live stream that you're watching right now. FingerLakes1.com, FingerLakes1.tv. As we move towards the start of the second annual event, as a benefit for Tom's Brook Volunteer Fire Department. JMW, they were selling shirts over there. They were selling bodies. They were selling kits. I mean, they were moving some equipment. The Demu T-shirts even were a good seller. And then they've got a handful of those Chaos in the Valley T-shirts available yet too. Which you got to get your hands on one of those. Yeah,
I see him running around in pits. He's got a RC car with a homemade RC trailer.
Yeah.
That hauls. So he's got basically his own RC car with his own RC hauler to haul it to the track. That's pretty fun.
Michael Brashear has one of those too. I saw Matt Kingery come in. Matt Kingery was here during the fair in a fresh box style Ford, which was a very nice build. He did a real good job with that. Lost my train of thought. Oh, we were talking about Matt Kingery. Matt even though it was a beautiful build, he did a real nice job with it. He got himself into a pickle on the first night when he took the back end of that Ford, which was sucked right to the ground, and it was a flipping machine basically. And he drove up underneath of the number 13. I'm blanking on his name. Oh, Jimmy Wren. Jimmy Wren's number 39, I believe, is who it was that got up on his back. And when Jimmy went up on top of him, it punched a hole in the oil pan. His roof sign's made out of plate, and it went right through the oil pan. So everything that used to be in the crankcase drained into the back seat of Matt's car, and he couldn't continue. So he took it home, said that he washed it, but there was still a bunch of oil standing on the trunk lid from where I saw. And the second night he had problems. I don't know if there was ignition problems or electrical issues or something along those lines. And he's got that put back together. He's got that out here tonight, and he said that the nose is never going to move on that car until he cuts it apart.
Yeah, I think there's a few here like that.
But the thing is when you have a car that hard, it's, you know what I mean? You're going to move.
Yeah, that's it.
You are now the weak link.
See, we got Eric's son, Andrew Mears, at home. And so I guess he's not feeling well, but he's watching us on the podcast here. Cool. I feel your pain there, Andrew. I got a little bit of a sinus thing going on myself.
Look at that. Lee Engstrom catching the show. Thanks for watching, Lee, up in Minnesota. Ryan Ostrander's watching at home. So moving again towards the start of Chaos in the Valley. Going to be watching close the story of Bill Orndorff, who is trying to extend his run of victories here at Shenandoah County to what would be 4 straight? It would be 3 straight, and wins in the Valley to 4. He's won this year, I believe he won Winchester, then he won Harrisonburg, and then he swept the fair here this year. So he's got 4 straight wins in the Valley, trying to come up with number 5 if he can come up with this win. And it would be a sweep of 2015. All those wins coming right here in his home area in the vicinity of Woodstock. He's going to probably have a white car, going back to those colors on his Chrysler. During the fair, he ran red. He reversed it. He usually runs white with red trim, and he ran a red car to celebrate his 30 years of Demolition Derby here.
Nice.
And he did it with a sweep of his hometown fair. Something like 8 or 10 wins in his career. Also expect to see, I saw Josh Patton was one of the folks that was inspecting cars, so I don't think he's going to have a car. He had a red Ford here back at the fair. It was one of the box-style Crown Vics, and he was over there inspecting. So he obviously won't have a car, but I anticipate his family will. Johnny Patton, who's been doing it for, I think, like 29 and a half years, right on the heels of Billy Orndorff. They've been battling for years here. I expect him to have a car and come and compete. Still see a lot of drivers congregated down there as they're working through that drivers meeting. Some conversation, I presume, focusing on some of the things that were permitted to pass through tech inspection and some of the things that we're focused on. But again, what it comes down to is there's really no reason for us from the outside looking in. We don't have any skin in the game per se.
Yes.
No reason for us to have any qualm with what did or didn't go through, because it certainly appeared from what you were able to see, what we were able to take in the inspection line, that it was a fair tech process.
Yes, yeah, I didn't see. They seem to give pretty much all the cars the same attention. Sean's car got a lot of attention, but
It's going to. It's got leaf springs
yeah.
in the front.
I was gonna say that you can't bring a build like that and not expect attention. And I tell you, if you could just see that car, just walk up and look over for a few minutes, that's worth the price of admission alone. I mean, I think there's a part of every car, every make in that build.
There's a guy that's trying to tune into the podcast right now, but he can't.
No.
But he can't hear it on his phone because the music's so loud. Jordan Burgess checking in, letting us know that he's watching. Brad Klein from right here in Virginia. Ontario, Canada, checking in. Music isn't an issue for Chantel Rosen. Again, music, obviously, it belongs to the people who performed it and released it originally so that all the monitors sitting at YouTube can hear us say it again. It's their music. We're not playing it on purpose. It's in the arena in the background, so we're gonna do what we can, just periodically drop that so that the big brother at YouTube knows that we aren't doing this on purpose and trying to take credit for something that isn't ours, because God forbid accidents happen. Did I tell you the story about when we played the national anthem, got thrown off YouTube?
I was there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
I was there. Yeah. All I know is I looked over and you were frantically pushing buttons and typing at the laptop and
it's fine.
Yeah.
Why worry, right?
yeah.
So I had a couple of people asking that missed the beginning of the show. That's Mrs. Gokenauer right there, Sean's wife.
Nice.
You'll see her momentarily, I think. Oh, she might have gotten past the camera. Yeah, she got by. That's Sean's wife right there.
Now, I forgot the name of the guy that came down with him. He's got a pretty tough build, too, but it looked like he was having some engine problems in the tech. I don't know. To me, it sounded like a timing issue, but...
Who was that again?
I'm trying to remember the name here. Give me a
What was the number? What was the car? Did you actually see this happen?
Yes. Let me see if I can pull it up.
Are you making this up for conversation? This is a big Derby day in the Northeast. I mean, if you want to throw Virginia where we are into the Northeast, which is sort of mid-Atlantic, I suppose. But Cattaraugus, I believe they've got, or is it Casadega? Casadega's got their Derby today, and then Wayne and Tim Ellison and their dad, Wayne Ellison Sr., they've got their Derby over at Paradise Speedway.
Yes.
Today.
Yes. And I believe they had a youth show there too. A youth show.
Yeah, they got a youth derby over there at that event, I'm not sure how they were able to pull that one off, but they went an extra mile to make sure everybody had insurance. They did it the right way, so it's good to see the youth and the kids given an opportunity to do that. They're trying to get that door opened here because right now they got the Power Wheels for kids up to like 9.
Yes.
But in terms of the kids that are like 7, 8, 9 years old, up to the kids that are like 13, 14, 15, there's a void right now.
Yes,
They're trying to find something for them to do.
Which, parents, if you're watching, the RC cars might be a part where it's at because...
Guys, excuse me 1 second. I got to handle a question here off to the side. Go ahead and finish your thought.
The RC cars might be where it's at for that age group because, you guys, if you were watching earlier, you've seen Chris's son Alan out there working the controls on his car, and that might be a good transition from where they're too big for the Power Wheels and not quite big enough for the actual full-size Derby car. So maybe the RC cars might fill that void.
Whoops. Sorry about that, Jake. I forgot to kick that over to the other camera angle.
That's all right.
I was just sitting on you, sitting here. Wow, Bo Shelton checking in with us down in Tennessee. That's cool. I can't keep up with all the messages that are coming in. Everybody giving us updates, sounding pretty good online. I got to send a note to Ed. we got? Oh, okay. I know that car. That was the one that was having some motor problems that you were talking about. That is Shane Hammond.
Yes,
It's the number
that's it.
5. Shane's the guy that he's got the beard. We've seen him run before at the Bash for Cash. He showed up at the Bash for Cash with a beautifully built car. We're going back to Memorial Day last year. Beautiful car. Showed up with the hoses looped in it. You know, Bash for Cash, this stuff's going to run hard. It's going to run fast. There's a ton of dust in the air, and you got to keep that thing cool. Has the hoses looped. I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, I'm running methanol in it. He converted the whole thing over to methanol.
Really?
So he turned around. He had a couple good runs with that car, but then it ended up blowing pieces out of the motor like crazy. And I don't even think he made it to the track at Bash for Cash with that setup in it, unfortunately. Now we fast forward to the fair this year. Tried to run that car again at Bash for Cash. Had another strikeout with it. When we came down for the fair here at Shenandoah County back at the end of August and the 1st of September, he built his cars out of Sean Gokenauer's shop.
Yes. Yep,
And they had pistons sitting, brand new pistons. They don't even have oil stains on them yet. Brand new pistons that were bent over like this because the engine had hydrolocked when they tried to turn it over, and it destroyed the connecting rod.
All the rods. Oh.
They had 2 of them. And they've been plagued with trouble with this alcohol. One of the Mustangs that they've got, rear-wheel drive Fox body Mustang, is also set up on methanol. And that thing, they've tried running a second fuel pump on it. One to put fuel to the carburetor, and the second one to pull fuel out of the bowl.
Really?
Because it was moving so much fuel through that it was basically choking itself out. They couldn't get the fuel to physically move through the carburetor. The return line needed another pump on it. I lost track of what the status was on that situation, and I didn't see the car come through the pits as of yet. But that's something that we're going to kind of try and keep a close eye on. I'll let you know if we do come across that entry here. But coming back to Shane, those motor troubles plagued him again on Championship Tuesday here at the Shenandoah County Fair when he was able to make a couple hits, but then all of a sudden it just come apart. And he had, on top of that, I believe he had some distributor issues as well. The thing would it would run around in an idle, and that was the most that he could get out of it. So I got a text when we were traveling. It was about, I'm going to say 10:30. Fair, 10:30. Sean Gokenauer sends me a picture of his wagon in the driveway, and behind it is Shane's car. They pulled it into the garage to start it for today last night.
Wow.
To fix it from the fair, you know? They'd done most of the fixing on it, and then he didn't really hurt it on Tuesday night, so there's minimal things that they had to do. But nonetheless, still, they had to put some work in. They had to put some late hours in to get that thing together to get it here. And hopefully they can get off the trailer and run. Good turnout of full-size cars. Jason Koch, the defending winner of this, he won over Josh Wetmore in the 187 last year, and the feature, Steve Siopa taking third. The Wetmore and Siopa cars, I believe that crew is down in Florida right now getting ready for next week's car derby, where Josh Decker's going to be running with JC Molly's at their Halloween bash. We're going to have JC Molly's on the podcast Monday.
Cool.
Those guys not able to make the trip down here. But on the topic of Siopa Racing, a driver change.
Yes.
We were made aware of last night around 7:30. Mark Siopa now added to the show, which is in the championship national team bracket at Blizzard Bash, losing his spot, Josh Wetmore. I don't have any additional details on that as of this point, but 001, Mr. Sensitive, a multi-time winner of the Keystone Nationals, now on the roster, which is, I mean, you got to be, if I'm Todd Siopa, this is the best news possible, because now I got to sit back and wait, because those guys are going to go be hammers.
Yes. I tell you what, I'm almost thinking now that I did my fantasy pool there a little bit early. Now I might have to make some changes.
You could always submit a change, and I'm going to delete it because you already got a team in. In our travels, we've had another probably 25 teams that I have to load here. Obviously, today with our busy duties here, we weren't able to get that stuff done. But here in the coming days, we'll get that roster list updated again. Right now, we're approaching 450 teams.
Wow.
Last year, at this point, we weren't at 400. When we left and shut registration off last year, I think we had like either 740 or 780 teams, and I gotta believe that we're gonna eclipse that.
I would think so.
I have a number of people who told me teams are coming, but they haven't sent them in yet on purpose, knowing that there's going to be some ebb and flow in who isn't on the teams. Rick Kostonik at this point was on a team with Sam Bandow, it sounded like. And then the team that was submitted, he was with Jenny and Joe Molman. And then he was off that team, and Jeremy Frederick was on it. Keith Kostonik was running with the Midwest Mod Squad, I believe, which is Rick's brother.
Okay.
The Molman team fell out, and they're not running at all. Team Busch Light moves up into the national bracket with Cheesy. Jeremy Frederick now, who wasn't even on the Blizzard Bash roster, moves over to the modified 80s. In the midst of all that happening, Rick Kostonik's brother Keith, he pulls out. Rick Kostonik takes the spot. So now Rick is back. Rick is back on a team with Blizzard Bash. He's been part of, if you count the assumption of him running with Sam Bandow, I guess. I mean, I don't know if that was or wasn't going to happen. He's been on 3 teams, and we haven't even gotten to Topeka yet.
And it looks like a little bit of activity. You got the power wheels.
You know something? Before you finish that thought, if you want, what we can do is I can put a longer microphone on this, and while you're down there running that camera, if you want to weigh in, you can put that microphone right there by your hip and pick it up.
Sure.
Do you want to do that?
Yeah, sure.
All right, why don't we do that? We're going to take a brief break. I'm going to just turn it trackside for a moment. I'll leave the microphone open so that you can see what's going on. And I'm going to grab another cable so that we can swap that out for Jake. We'll be right back. Jake, you good down there?
I am.
All right, good deal. So just a few minutes away, as you can see, the young lads and lasses getting ready to jump into their Power Wheels. They're coming later. I'm live on the internet, buddy. When they're done, they're coming after the lawnmowers. They're doing Power Wheels and then the lawnmowers. And then they'll get into the full-size stuff. Okay?
Of course, Chris, being the super approachable guy, gets asked every question about everything.
So, that was exciting, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Trying to handle that. Brian McCain checking in from Fort Campbell, Kentucky, home of the Screaming Eagle, 101st Airborne down there. Pretty cool.
Nice, nice.
So there's the Power Wheels getting ready to get underway. Last minute preparations being done for all those young kids that are going to be driving in that.
Doing a little last minute track prep here on the sides here, closing up some of the gaps.
You still got me down there?
Yes.
Okay. Trying to play musical chairs with the headsets so that I can hear you a little bit better. With you down there, it's a little bit tough to catch what you're saying. One of the tough things with that angle that you're going to be at is that you're so close, Jake. So you're going to have to make sure you zoom that stuff out. Get that zoomed out a little bit. All right. So whole troop of them. There's got to be 30 of these things.
Yeah, there's definitely a good gathering. You know, and I'm really how the Power Wheels have taken off in the last few years is it's just awesome. It's just awesome, and you know, and I can't say it enough, and I'm going to say it again. With Team Ramrod this year donating the cars or raffling off some cars for the kids for the Power Wheels at King's Old School show, team show. Great, man, because my daughter got one of the cars, and I tell you what, she has not put that trophy down. It's been a month, and she has it by her bed every night. She walks around with it. I tell you, she's hooked for life now.
There was talk at one point that they were going to try and have an adult class down here.
That'd be nice.
I don't see the fire truck back that was here last year, but the fire truck that was here running, it was blowing apart. It was old brittle plastic from the 80s, and the thing was just blasting into pieces, just shards of plastic flying everywhere. It was a ton of fun to watch. But right now, a good field. Everybody looks like they're having a pretty good time. You see, look at the number 10 right here in front of us, Jake. Got the lawnmower battery underneath the hood on the number 10. It looks like an Escalade with those big speakers in the back. Caden's out there. We saw gentleman just off screen to our left, just walked into the frame wearing the sunglasses. That's one of the Patton boys. His boy is out there. I believe also that Brent Snyder has an entry out there looking for possibly number 82 that might be on the track. Good nose-to-nose shot between the 12 and the number 99 junior. Here comes another Escalade. Escalade seem to be popular down here.
Yeah, it looks like we have I don't know if that used to be a set of headers in the middle of the track.
Somebody lost their stacks or their roll bar or something out here in the middle of the track, just off to the left. Or just off to your right, rather. Look at the little minion, the 0, out there at the top. Just put a shot in the left front corner of the number 3R Camouflage Escalade. The minion got the helmet and everything. Whoa, how about that? As long as we still got Mike online, we're good. Tolerate the pops, Jake.
I like the, if you see here.
The Rotten Derby team circling around, puts the shot on the back of the number 99 junior, the 11X. 11X, that sounds like it might be one of the cardiac arrest cars. Look at the giant chrome stack coming out the back of the Escalade. 11X just leaving the screen. Madison's in the number 12, painted the exact same way.
Little let it go
Corvette
there.
out there. Seeing the Corvette reminds me of the time Melvin Bully won the junk run at Seneca County and that Firebird. He didn't hit a thing. The dude could barely stand when he got out of the car. But fiberglass just blowing off all over the place, and he ended up limping his way to a win.
Now that Corvette is sporting the number of 33 and in a yellow, and has a license plate that says farm use on it. Farm use. Yeah, I think no.
I can't believe we didn't get on this topic, but we see Chelsea in the 009 over here off to your left. It's a blue, looks like maybe a blue Ford Raptor. She's got Kibler girls on the back end of that car. There's going to be probably 5 or 6 of that Kibler family here with cars on the track, and I tell you what, those guys drive like they're insane. It's a lot of fun to watch them go, and we're going to be watching that group pretty close because Brandon, I got to believe that Brandon is going to be in the mix when it's all said and done here at the end of the night. $501.5. I believe that's one of the Gordon family entries, the young lad out there going nose to nose with one of the green Kibler Girls 00 entries at the top of the screen. There's a good look next to the gray Silverado with the chrome stacks on it. A lot of young ladies out there on the track.
Yes, well represented. Like I said, the 11X with the Let It Go Frozen theme. A little bit of a jam here in the middle of the track.
While our unit is still going at it, we need all drivers of cars, trucks, and lawnmowers to please report to the car area for a brief meeting.
So as you can hear in the arena, the call has gone out for lawnmower derby drivers to report to their mowers. Most of them already staged here off at Track Inn.
We keep going, let's make sure we keep cheering them on, rooting for your favorite, give them some encouragement.
Good to see that we got started pretty much right on time tonight. They're going to give these kids 15, 20 minutes or so to knock around a little bit before they move them back off to the pit area. And then we, from there, will move into tonight's elimination style activities with the lawnmowers due out after this. And then from there, we'll move into the qualifying heats for the full-size and compact cars. Then we'll do their rounds of consolations. And then from there, we'll bring the trucks out, crown a winner there, crown a compact champion, and crown the overall winner in the full-size division here at Chaos in the Valley 2015, the second edition of Chaos in the Valley with JPG Towing, Jason and Penny Shipe. And this show is, again, a benefit for the Toms Brook Volunteer Fire Department right just up the road here in Virginia. We're going to get a chance to jaunt down 81 a little bit later on tonight. we head down to Mount Jackson, where we found the lovely Super 8 Hotel. It's the only place within 10 miles of Woodstock that had an open room, and it's literally the only place that had one open room. We were lucky enough to get our hands on that, so we're moving forward with our plan. Hang on one second, guys. I'm getting interrupted. Just sit down. Sit down. So I got a fan from the stands, and you know how we like the folks that are overseas and that have the opportunity, that are listening to the military, that watch when they're stationed in Korea and Japan and Alaska, and they're away from their families, and they're not able to take in the Demolition Derby action, and we've got this stuff put out there for free, and they can tune in for it. We got a guy that's sitting down here, and initially I thought you were telling me to do a shout-out for a birthday or something here in the stands, but I'm going to give you the microphone for a second, because you got the chance now to be live here and rub in the fact a little bit to your buddy that you get to take in the action. But go ahead. Say hi.
I'd like to give a shout-out to my buddy Jake Knight, which is stationed in Kansas right now. He's away for the military. He's in the Army, serving our country. I appreciate everything he's doing. Kansas. Yeah. I like to give a shout out because he ain't run all year because he's been gone for the last year.
Now, is he any relation to Trenton? No. Okay. But I want to say I remember seeing him run down here. Did he have a black and green Mopar wagon at one point? No? Okay. Not the guy that I was thinking of. But nonetheless, I mean, it's cool that he's able to break away a little bit, hopefully give him a little bit of a feeling of being back at home. I know you probably want to be here just like any number of military personnel stationed all over the place. So good. I appreciate you coming over and stopping by and saying hi. Thanks a lot, buddy.
You had the opportunity.
If no other time than right now, I wish I could hear what you were saying.
Okay.
Go ahead. Whatever you're going to say, I just can't hear you.
No, on it's the same theme of the military people there. I had the opportunity to. I was teaching firearms instructor school, and we had a couple students come through from the security forces. Stopped through a Phillips and McLaren. So thank you guys for your service, and get back on duty. I think they're out of Syracuse, and they'll be heading out here shortly. Gabby?
Jake got to spend a little bit of time at the range before we picked him up.
Yeah, that's what I was just talking about there. Had a couple of security forces guys come through. They joined us with training, and it's nice to be able to mix things up.
So we're going to, hopefully some of the folks that are listening online can get a break during Christmas and New Year's and come and hang out with us at the Crash Course New Year's Eve party at the Holiday Inn in Waterloo. I know we've got a lot of interest right now, people saving their pennies, getting ready to make their reservations. Deadline for reservations is going to be the 29th of November because we've got to turn that attendance list into the Holiday Inn in Waterloo. We've got your reservation for a couple, includes your accommodations, dinner, snacks. Whether you go ahead and grab even open bar for it, but if you don't want to stay overnight, you have to be responsible and make good use of your time while you're there. But likewise, there are non-overnight packages available. You can jump on shop.smashedempire.com. You're looking for more information on New Year's Eve. Jake Sherman's going to be there. Autograph session from 7 to 8, right?
Yeah, I'll be there. Me and the wife will be up there, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a great time.
Not even so much that it's even a derby party or that it's Crash Course exclusively derby. We've got family that's going to come. We've got teacher friends that are going to come. It's just a chance to get together and hang out because, as Josh Decker so eloquently put it, it sort of has turned into a dead holiday.
Yeah.
I tell you, Jake, they gave these guys a ton of room to work with these. And slowly I've noticed the track is getting larger and larger as we push off towards the right side of our vantage point.
Yeah, they're definitely starting to use more and more of the track. Got the 33 Corvette coming down looking for a full track on somebody.
We've seen a couple of competitors falling out here. Unfortunately, can't easily tell you right now who they are, but likewise, they have drifted towards their parents over on the sidelines and exited their vehicles.
The green Escalade of 3R is looks like part of the Spoiled Rotten Derby team. Been putting on a lot of good shots.
See some front end damage showing up on the 009. That I believe is Chelsea Kibler in that 009 right now. Chasing down the number 06. Puts a shot on Luke there at the top of your screen. Jake, did you see that over to the side? The 11X, no hands.
Nice.
Putting her hands up in the air, just driving and making hits. Jesse pulling the driver of the 501 out and bringing them over to a safe vantage point on the sidelines. Got to be getting pretty close to wrapping things up here. Lawnmowers due up at next, and then we'll move into the qualifying heats for the full-size and compact divisions. Been on here for about 25 minutes already.
Yeah, the front of that Corvette almost looking like a wedge, and you get a little more speed, you start flipping people. Yeah, the Corvette looks like a wedge, a little more speed, you start flipping people. Got the 99 Junior, 99 JR. Looks like the mighty midget team. Running over our own step bar. See Luke in the 06 giving Mom a thumbs up on the way by.
Kaylee Waybright's out there. We just heard her announced in the arena. That, I believe, is John Waybright's daughter. We'll see John Waybright out here in a little while. A lot of fun to watch John drive, man. He's a compact guy through and through. And, boy, he has a heavy foot.
That's what I like to hear.
Chelsea Kibler, 009, is 9 years old, is from Woodstock. Hayden Bader, driver number 0. Hayden is 3 years old and from Woodstock. Jordan Hessel, number 20, XX Junior, 3 years old from Woodstock. We have Tiffany Blevins, driver number 99, Junior, age 6 from Winchester. We have Haley Jernigan, age 8 from Woodstock. Nicholas Palmer, age 4 from Front Royal. Alex Crowley, number 5 from Morgantown. We have Teddy Shipe, age 9 from Newmarket. Dawson Mullins, age 6 from Winchester. And Carter Tate, number 5 from Woodstock. Let's give all our Power Wheels contestants a round of applause as they keep going there in the field.
All right. So wrapping up our Power Wheels now. This is my favorite part of the Power Wheels. Not so much the ending, but watching the parents have to go around and corral all the kids and get them convinced to stop.
Looks like the 07 making some adjustments.
Trying to herd all of our Power Wheels competitors off the track, make way for the lawnmowers, which are going to be parading out onto the track next. It's a heck of a way to exit, Jake. Number 99 getting carried off, literally.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a few cars that exited the field. Looks like we're going to have ourselves an official race-off to determine our winner.
We've come across this a couple different times now. We saw this happen at the Rumble at the Rock show where they did a race-off. Then we also saw this down here last year when they did the same thing, basically. They ran the Power Wheels for about 25 minutes or so, and then from there they did a race-off here. So the process of this is these guys in the Power Wheels are going to have to drive the length of the straightaway, turn around, and make the lap back, and the first person to complete it is going to be scored as the winner.
Back for our official winner. The final line will be there at the half track. So again, our race will go all the way down to our gentlemen that are our midpoint line. Turn around and cross our finish line there in the middle of the track. If you have a favorite contestant, let's go ahead and hear their name.
Sounds like they're count down from 5.
Start on the count of 5. Are our racers ready? Is our crowd ready? All right, again, our race will go all the way to the gentleman there at the end of the track, turn around and come back to our official in the line. Here we go. Start at 5. Help me out, crowd. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, they're going to do what they want anyway.
The thundering herd of Power Wheels charging at you right now. The thing is, all these kids got to remember, they got to do a turnaround. They got to make a U-turn now, and it almost seems like it's going to be best to be the last one into this. Coming to the all the parents coming in, jumping in on it, helping make it. Number 12, Madison made the wheel turn and just jumped ahead of everybody. Here comes the Corvette, charging back on the outside. The number 33 making up a ton of ground. 5:01.5, likewise trying to make it up. The 12 going to come away with the win. It is Madison all the way to the wall. She's going to come away with first place. Good drive there.
All right, looks like the official words are going to go one more time. Now here's the practice round. All right, we're starting from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
And they come one more time. That 33 was plenty fast. Also, look at this little Jeep here knifing through the field. No number on the side of that Impact Jeep.
You're going straight down the track this time.
Going straight down the track. Looks like we're going to crown another winner. That Jeep, nice run for the Jeep.
All right, let's hear for our Power Wheels division.
Winchester Scrap Metal, one of the many people that helped make this show possible. There's a benefit to Tom Brook Volunteer Fire Department. As we see track officials placing a final log along the front stretch wall to help hold the gates closed for when the full-size and compact divisions get out here running their program of constellations, heats, and features. A little bit later on, $4,000 to win for the full-size class, $2,000 to win for the compacts. Not a bad payout. Thought maybe Jake Sherman would build a car, but thankfully he didn't. So we were able to bring Jake both on the podcast and have him sit and operate a camera for us.
Yeah, it's definitely this build rules here. I'm very interested to see how these cars are going to bend because I'm not used to seeing compacts built in such a way. Like I said, they're very stout as far out on the front with the front bumper and brackets, but for the most part, the rest of the cars are fairly stock when you want to talk about from the doors back. So I'm very curious to see how that's going to play out and how these are going to bend. And maybe I'll take some notes and come out next year.
Did you pick up any build tips while you were out there?
I don't know if I did because, to be honest with you, there's nothing that I seen here today that I would probably be able to do at home.
So it sounds like we're going to change pace a little bit, and the mowers aren't going to be out here next. We're moving right into the full-size program.
Yeah, I was going to say, I see a lot of drivers jumping in their
5:36 local time.
All right.
Thanks so much for...
Our Alpha Wheels division. In third place, we have Madison Wilkins driving 11X, 6 years old from Tom Brook. In second place, we have Lakin Payton, 5 years old from Woodstock. And in first place, we have Austin Davis, driving number 1888 from Pittsburgh. Let's give them a round of applause.
What's that? You good?
All right, again, we want to welcome everyone here to the second annual Chaos in the Valley. Thank you for coming out this evening. What a great evening for a little demolition derby. Thank you for helping to support our local fire department. At this time, we're ready to get things rolling, and we ask that you join us.
Hey, Randy Shearer's watching at home. Good to hear from Randy.
Our national anthem by Mr. Danny Figgins.
I'm going to have to go ahead and mute that line for everybody listening at home just to avoid the problems with YouTube. That was Mr. Danny Figgins, the singing policeman. All right, so we have our quad-motor division. While they're being set up and ready, I'm going to announce who we have at our heat. We have 13 breakers. First up, we have Jerry Shipe of Fairgrounds, driving number 9 Junior. We have Sean Kimler of Woodstock, driving number 00. We have Paul Wiley of Winchester, Virginia, driving 17 XW. We have Darren Williams of Pittsburgh,
Hollywood, Maryland. Is George Harris, Hollywood, Maryland. Aaron Poole, Hollywood, Maryland, on stop number 32. And Michael Fickler of Newmarket. Let's give our contestants a round of applause. All right, looks like we are ready for a single pass with single. We're going to start with a countdown outside. Round on the out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, pass.
Just to fill everybody in, there was a live performer here in the arena who had his music underneath him. So we didn't have to worry about muting that. And thankfully we were able to properly honor our flag and country and all those folks that are watching around the world, stationed in different military applications in proper form. So I appreciate the messages, but we didn't have to mute it this time. And with the looks of everything, YouTube is just fine with it, so that's awesome. Thanks for the note, Sean Deutsch up in Minnesota. Tommy Woodbury weighing in, Chase Mollering. I can't believe, so good to hear from everybody stopping around out in Utah. Just trying to get through all these messages and updates that we had. Excellent to see everybody hanging out with us online. And we'll see you be moving into our main program here in a little bit.
Looks like driver number 7 mower has had enough and got off. Same thing with the flat rock. $17X is out.
What a shot that was. Holy cow. The driver of the 44 machine having problems. So just to catch you up a little bit on what we got going on, guy here rocking it back and forth, hard to identify what some of these guys are. That is number 35 from these gentlemen, 32 rather, Eric Poole from Hollywood, Maryland. Some heavy smoke now coming from two of these machines as they take shots in the mufflers. 39 was the gentleman rocking it back and forth. That is Andrew Marshall from Mount Jackson. Last ride entry, trying desperately to get that thing going. Throws it in drive one more time. Wearing the Tom's Brook Fire Department sweatshirt, Flat Rock 44, all done. That was Olivia Marshall. These things basically, Jake, they look like dumpsters on wheels with the way that some of these side panels are built. But nonetheless, putting on a heck of a show, going nose to nose, knocking them both right out of their seat. The 41-15 is Darren Williams. The 39, as we talked about a moment ago, that is Andrew Marshall from Mount Jackson. The John Deere 212 limping back into the arena. No identification on that one.
Looks like we just dropped a couple more.
Bumper serving its purpose as the 41-15 from Team Flat Rock tries to put a shot on that Tom's Brook Fire Department entry with the skull cap, bouncing up and down in the seat one more time. I believe that is possibly a Murray that he's driving. Looks like we are down to our final 6 right now, with heavy smoke pouring from under the hood of at least one of them. Drive issues seem to be materializing on the 41-15, laboring out there significantly. This yellow and black, Jake, this yellow and black entry with the blue shirt, I remember that truck, or excuse me, that mower here last year. He had a front wheel get ripped off of that machine. I believe it was a Poulon. And that thing, he continued to drive that thing for a while on 3 wheels. He was leaning on it like you see a flat track motorcycle driver would do, leaning over to one side so that the weight transfer would keep that front corner that was missing the wheel off the ground. He's able to steer and continue to make hits, and he got down there quite a ways.
Well,
no reverse. Looks like the problem for this gentleman is right here in front of us. You can see him frantically working, trying to get off the wall. His buddy with the bent left rear wheel in the yellow and black colors lays a couple hits and then drives away. And the Shen Valley Tire number 09, who I believe is Gary Wayne Shipe. Now that we've got an identification on there, last ride on the lawnmower. He's had so many concussions, I believe he's going to be told he can't drive demolition derbies anymore. Took another one here back at the county fair as he slams that mower in drive, trying to track down the number 39 of Andrew Marshall.
Going back to this guy
number
with the
3,
blue
the Stars
shirt.
And Bars entry is BJ Silvius from Newmarket.
Going back to this guy with the blue shirt here, he's actually riding bareback. He lost his seat about halfway through.
No steering? Jeez, you're right. No seat. Look at that. It's a brave soul right there. Just sliding back and forth on that.
No steering here with a broken tie rod. Frantically trying to get back in the fight. And the 39 machine has quit. fires.
Problems developing now for that John Deere 212. Able to recover a little bit, but he's definitely got some challenges afoot. Takes a shot from Andrew in the 41-15.
Got the 41-15 there at the top of the screen. He seems to be having some problems here.
Yeah, we're definitely going through some issues here, trying to get we got a showdown. We got a pretty major chop issue that has just begun. I'm not really sure what's going on. I'm working on that as we speak.
battle it out to find our winner of our lawnmower division. For all drivers in each division, first, second, and third place. If you place first, second, and third, you can receive your trophy and prize money from this city site there on the grandstand. You leave it right there after the race. Come on down for first, second, and third place. Looks like we may be down to our final three. No, we still have four. Rolling up to it. Let's hear some noise.
All right, looks like everything here has stabilized. We just had a major bandwidth dump. We dropped, we lost roughly 2/3 of our speed there for about 10 minutes. I've tinkered with a few things on the backside. I think we've got that stabilized. We should be good the rest of the way. Thanks a lot for the updates, but we should be good. Hey, Dave Kreiner in Troy, PA. Thanks. Yeah, we're looking pretty stable right now. I think we should be just fine here the rest of the way.
And our officials are now circling the competitors. Look like
Gary Wayne Shipe is really reefing on that hydro. Look at it, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So, apologize for that minor interruption there, but hopefully we should be pretty good through the rest of the night. Looks like everything is stabilized here as we move forward. Some of those shots look like they hurt, Jake.
yeah, and you know, you got to give it to the competitors out there. You know, they're working.
Uh-oh. Problems for Gary Wayne in that 09. Troubles with the shifter or something. He was just jerking on that shifter, trying to get it to go into gear. It was fighting him a little bit.
He's had a broken tie rod for a while. He's got both wheels, one's going one way, one's going the other.
So I was mistaken there. A moment ago, I said he was working on a hydrostatic. That's a clutch and shift machine right there. Those front tires on Gary Wayne's 09 are looking at each other, no steering.
I think eventually he's going to get himself back in there, and he's not going to be able to get back out.
Gary Wayne Shipe could be in trouble. Right front wheel ripped off of it. Trying to lean over, get that right front corner up in the air. He takes a hard shot now. Begging him, please hit me again. Knock that left rear corner back down on the ground. Get him some traction here. So big cars coming up next.
The louder we are, the harder they'll hit. Every time we get a good hit, let's get some gears going. Gary Wayne, refuse to quit.
Getting some reports in from Geneva. Looks like Corey Neer coming away with the win up there at that show at Paradise Speedway with Wayne and Tim Ellison. Gary Wayne basically with brute force trying to keep that thing running. Rocking on that left rear corner, just inching his way along. Continues to make active contact, and there it is. He's being told to shut off. We are down to our final three.
It looks like we are down to 3. Really good ride, Gary Wayne. Looks like our John Deere's got a little power left in it. Any John Deere fans out there? I'm sure if anyone's looking to get there,
Steering with his foot. Starting to get after it a little bit harder here as we work through the final moments. Flat right front tire doesn't seem to be affecting the number 3 a whole lot. And the number 3 is BJ Silvius from Newmarket. Are we down to 2? Looks like we might be down to 2. The 212 limping in as he gets attention from both competitors now. vChaos Silvius in the number 3, unidentified pilot on the 212 John Deere, and possibly a fuel leak. He's all done. On that yellow entry with no hood, no seat, fuel leak. So now we're down to 2. BJ Silvius just pounding away now, has the upper hand on the 212 as he once again has to lean over, trying to keep the pedals up
on the left side. Shoves him right back to the blocks again, backs it up one more time. BJ grabs forward, flat right front tire. Left front wheel also bent. He's obviously got the upper hand. Should be pretty close. And now, after the fuel leak issue, now having trouble getting it to freewheel as he limps it back to the pit. Comes from a long ways away, goes after him, doesn't make a whole lot of contact with that shot. Doesn't cause a whole lot of damage, I should say, misspoke there. Silvius once again.
Take your choice now, which one you're going to root for. If you want to vote for the John Deere, let's hear it. All right, if you feel you're at the center of that heart, let's hear it. Well, I'm sorry, that is not general.
That's the thing about these lawnmowers, Jake, is that they're built so sturdy now with those rails on them along the outside. It's very, very difficult to get to a point where you can do any damage to them. You're just basically bouncing off of square stock on all sides. .212 really laboring now. See the discoloration of the exhaust. The engine tone has definitely changed. BJ Silvius now clearly with the upper hand, far more mobile, and definitely more aggressive. The 212 hasn't really made an aggressive hit other than the 3 driving into them, making qualifying contact. So here comes Silvius one more time, as that 212 John Deere backs up again. Flat tire off the beat now as that 212 drives him right to the blocks. And Silvius quick to pop right back out of that hole and shove him back across the opposite way. Back to the blocks himself, turning into a bit of a shoving match now. Here comes that 212 pulling up on the clutch. Shoved into the blocks once again is the number 3. Now returning the favor as they come back across the track. That shot got up above the front rail on the number 3. It was all in the hood area.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, keep going.
Another big hit. After having things well in hand for the majority of the last 5 minutes, the tide's now turning on BJ Silvius as the John Deere now teeing off. Silvius able to get that 2 refire.
Here we go.
I believe that might be George Harris in that John Deere. He made last aggressive contact. Going off the small number 30, you can see squarely in the center of the fenders below the fuel fill neck on that John Deere 212. Counted out. Silvius going to go in the book, second place.
St. Louis of Newmarket. And in first place, we have Matthew Taken of Hollywood, Maryland. Let's give all our lawnmower contestants a big round of applause. All right, as we prepare, we're going to move the lawnmowers off the track, water it down, be ready for our car division. For safety, anybody sitting in the grandstand, we need to ask anybody that's on the concrete to go ahead and move back. Anybody leaning on the fences to go ahead and move back for your own safety. This time, as we prepare,
Whoa.
feel free
Hey, we got to fix that camera a little bit. That camera just took a dive off the tripod, so we're going to have to readjust that thing here in a moment.
food for sale, so be sure to check all of those out as we prepare for our car division. At this time, let's go ahead and announce the winner of our raffle for the car. First, we want to thank everybody for supporting the raffle and all of the sponsors that helped make it possible for the Company 9 raffle car. Our winner that we anticipate this evening is Joey Mott. Congratulations, Joey. Give a round of applause. We'll get some music going as we prepare for our car division.
There we go. All right. A little bit better there. So only one more left to clear, and we will get into the full-size division here. Coming out first is going to be heat number 1, which includes Mark Wolf, Matt Davidson, Gib Whittemire, Johnny Patton, David Klein, Justin Pickerel, Keith Simon, Brian Everhart, Charles Perry, Andrew Myers, Mike Klinger, Bruce Davis, and Jason Koch. 13 cars scheduled to go off in qualifying heat number 1. Justin Koch coming in from West Virginia. He's the defending winner of Chaos in the Valley. Number 75, Bruce Davis from Rhodesville, Virginia. Mike Klinger from Mill Creek, Pennsylvania. He's in the 409. He did a pretty nice job at this show last year. And we also want to mention that Mike Klinger, he turned around and won the wire class over there at Bash for Cash earlier this year. Had a real good run over there in that wire class over in Ohio. Charles Perry, Keith Simon, both making the tow in. La Plata, Maryland's Justin Pickerel is here again. David Klein, watch him. He and Mike Klinger spare no bad blood between one another. It's going to be a ton of fun to watch those two go at one another. Johnny Patton will factor into that mix as well. Bit of a turf battle with Mark Wolf from right here in Woodstock. Johnny Patton, David Klein, and Mike Klinger, Jason Koch. 5 drivers who definitely will be among them, factoring into the champion's outcome here in the feature a little bit later on as we see track wetting activities
going on. This track is very, very hard. They're going to throw some water down on the top, and that's basically about all that's going to happen with it. It's a very hard track. It's got a really, really, really good base in it, and you can put some water on top basically just to knock the dust down, and they're going to let this thing rip. We're just a few minutes away from seeing the full-size division make their way onto the track for our first qualifying heat of the evening. Can anybody guess what I just had to go do?
All right, we'd also like
Just
to
at that
thank
camera.
Tuesday first for being our DJ this evening, getting some music going in between heats. At this time, we're going to go ahead and announce again our first and second heat for our full-size vehicle. Make sure we have the right drivers ready to go as we begin. In our first heat for full-size, we have Mark Wolf, Matt Davidson, Tim Whitmire, Johnny Payton, David Klein, Justin Pickerel, Keith Simon, Brian Everhart, Charles Berry, Andrew Myers, Mike Klinger, Bruce Davis, Jason Cope. And our second heat, we have Danny Manning, Zach Gordon, Sean Kokenauer, Matt Shultama, Johnny Fisher, PJ Welch, Corey Truitt, Shane Hammond, Ian Berry, and Tony Capalla. Those are our first and second heat of full size, and we'll be beginning shortly as soon as the track is watered down, ready to go. If you're out and about, go ahead and begin returning to get ready to cheer on our first car division.
So what do you think of the lawnmowers?
You know, it's not really fair, I would say, to the drivers. I heard some people talking behind us. It felt like that it went on a long time, which it did.
It did go on a long time.
But you know, you can't blame the drivers for that because they were working. You know what I mean? It wasn't like they were just sitting back and tapping each other. They were doing the best they could. And it just
That's one of the things
they're
I was
hard-built
saying
car-
when we were
they're
streaming
hard-built.
it is one of the challenges that you face with this is that they're built so heavy and so hard with that perimeter guard, which I get is for safety. It's a catch-22. If you don't let them run that, you run the risk of people tearing up their legs.
Yeah.
But if they do run it, it can get very stale.
Yes. Yep.
So I don't know if you were keeping up with what was happening there. We had a major frame rate dump. I've been watching it. We had another small anomaly where we lost a little bit of speed, but it bounced right back. And right now things are looking fairly stable for us as we move into the first round of qualifying.
Hopefully it stays that way.
And who knows what it could have been. The timing of it was interesting, you know. Well, that's what the ropes are for, sir. Young lad just took an opportunity to sneak through. Cameo. So what do you think of your experience with Woodstock so far?
I'm waiting for these big cars to come out. I see helmets going on. I'm getting excited. These are
Mark Wolf.
These are hard cars, and the track is a nice, solid track, and I fully expect to see a lot of hard hits. And I'm curious to see what this is going to sound like when these cars hit, because as heavy as they're built, that's got to be just a bone-jarring impact when they get together.
It's going to sound like we've said it a bajillion times. We're going to say it again. It's going to sound like two bulldozers hitting each other when they go nose to nose. The interesting side note on Mark Wolf's car. We've talked about his car a little bit. He's running the stock bumper off the 73 on the front of that. He didn't swap a different bumper. He said that he's heard from people that, hey, those bumpers are hard, why not? And the only thing that he did to it, it's not loaded, it's not cheated or anything like that. He put some plates on the back where it mounts, but that's the only change that he made to that front bumper. As you can see how fast the track soaked up that water. It is going to stay dry and fast as we get ready to move into qualifying here. Firefighters, thumbs up, all clear, ready to go.
Ready to begin lining up our first heat of full-size cars. We have Mark Wolf from Woodstock, Virginia, car number 52.
Can you,
Yeah,
can you throw another piece of tape over that? Yeah, just try and tie it down a little better.
We have Tim Whitmire from Timberville, Virginia.
So we'll give you the rundown on what we're about to see. Mark Wolf will be in car number 52. That is the 73 Riviera Boattail style. From Manassas, Virginia, in the number 54, Matt Davidson. Gib Whittemire driving in from Timberville, Virginia, the number 59. Johnny Patton from right here in Woodstock will be in car number 40. Expect blue cues on the side of number 40. David Klein from Broadway, Virginia, will be in the trademark number 21. Justin Pickerel from La Plata, Maryland, in the 228. Keith Simon from Hinton, Virginia, in the 51. Brian Everhart from Williamsburg, Pennsylvania, in the 9E. We saw him go out of the park last year when he was here, and as you see, the number 40 there is the blue and black number 40 of Johnny Patton pulling in. Brian Everhart from Williamsburg, Pennsylvania, in the 9E. Charles Perley from Timberville, Virginia, in the 777. Andrew Myers from Friendsville, Maryland, in the 73. Mike Klinger from Mill Creek, Pennsylvania. That's Gravedigger. Keep your eyes on him. He's in the 409. Bruce Davis is in the 75 from Rhodesville, Virginia. And rounding out the order is the number 19 from West Virginia, Jason Koch. Fresh build. Looks like it's a 75 Caprice, maybe. If you could help me out with that, Jake, for David Klein's number 21. I think that's a 75 Impala or Caprice, as we see another Y-framer. Can you tell on that one? The 21.
Now, looking at the car that's just pulling in now, that is actually a 63 Oldsmobile pre-ran, and then he re-clipped it with a 98-02 Ford front.
Good look at the field there. Good field of cars. 75, Bruce Davis down there. He is the white Ford. A lot of tilted equipment, a lot of subframe swaps, you name it. They've probably tried to get it through. Pickerel in the 228 is right here in front of us. There's a good look at Everhart as well in the number 9E. Sign around the track. Looks like we've got flags up all the way. We should be ready to go. Green flag drops over it. Everybody a little bit tender coming off the line. It's not going to last, though. The 777 of Charles Perry backs off the line just simply straight up with round stock on the front end of that thing. Chrysler takes a shot in that left rear corner. There wasn't a little bit of room to work with. Klinger, we told you it was going to happen. He sought out that shot. Goes right into the side of the 21 of David Klein. We're going to follow him around. He'll go nose to nose with this. Johnny Patton going for a ride over the wall at the hands of Mike Klinger when he got a hold of, and I'm not entirely sure who, But Johnny Patton perched perilously atop that wall right now in the 409. The front bumper on the 777 has been blown to pieces, parts of it now sitting right here in the front stretch ahead of us. There's a good look at the back end of Klinger's 409. Very, very aggressive shot that he just placed. There's a good look at the back end of the number 52, Mark Wolf. That's Keith Simon's number 51. Looks like there's some Engstrom graphics on the side of that. Lee Engstrom watching along at home with us.
Driver is out and good. What a wild ride to begin our third week. That's the way it's done. It paid off in the valley.
Gonna have to shove him down off the blocks. Well, with the sounds of things, Jake, online, people like their first introduction to Woodstock, Virginia.
Oh yeah, they're definitely using their foot, and I think you're probably going to see with the way the cars are built, with as hard as they are. I think as the 40 sits on the wall, I think you're going to see that's how a lot of cars are going to get out of here tonight. Is they're just going to get pushed up and out.
It's entirely possible. Everybody is saying that, boy, these guys are going after it. They're hitting hard. And the thing that I got to point out is there's going to be about the same number of cars out here for the qualifying heats for the compacts, and there's 4 of those that are scheduled right now. They do the same thing. They drive just as hard like this, and it is like this all the time.
Now, if you look, those are just regular Jersey barriers here on the end. And what they did was they piled, they put in dump truck loads of sand in behind the blocks to keep them from tipping over. So the arena itself is, as it's covered in with, or blocked in with the concrete blocks, is pretty stout. It's not gonna tip them blocks over as the cars are getting pushed out.
Trying to carefully pull the number 40 down off the wall without causing any major problems. The undercarriage of that car, as we talked about in the pre-show, when Jimmy Wren got up on the back of the number 212 of Matthew Kingery, who we're going to see here in a little bit as well.
I don't know if I should, but I will.
Punctured the
I am going
belly.
to just show a piece of what was inside of that car.
I think that's what was on the front of the 777's front bumper. That used to be a bumper, I guess.
Wow. What you're looking at is, it looks like a piece of 3.5 inch pipe.
You can see that round piece of tube. It has been shattered. It was broken from one of the shots. I believe that was delivered by that 514. Nope, it's not 514. Jason Koch, if you look off to your left, Jason Koch has a long runway ahead of him.
Now that's some teamwork.
So good look at that 777 car. Charles Perry.
Just for your safety, if you are leaving one of the pins, go ahead, please back up. We don't want any cars to flip over in that general direction. If you saw one car just jump the barrier, so please back up for your protection.
We just had somebody comment. Nate Witt said that he likes the look of the Juggernaut car. Had a nice nice paint scheme. Looked sweet, as he said. Word is that one of his hot rod friends is going to take and try to replicate that car for a street rod. Not necessarily the same style car, but definitely the paint. when I talked with Mark. He said he's got more time invested in when he built that car just in putting the flames and everything all over it than he did in have anything else.
Really? I don't know. I find that hard to believe. With there's some time in that car. Here's a shot of the back of Klinger's car. He was the one responsible for this delay, pushing the car up over the wall. And I believe that is a 66 New Yorker Y-framer. And that is a very clean car. Looked very well built.
You think Klinger's getting a talking to about hitting too hard?
No, I don't think he will.
We're also going to thank some of our sponsors, Valley Towing, Frost Garage, Shenandoah Valley Tire, JPG Towing, just to name a few.
A good look at what our tripod looks like. It's fine. It's fine. You got to show what's going on, man. Don't worry about it.
Looks like we're pretty close to getting back at it.
And Patton, all done. Taking it off the track right now. Quite the operation to get him down off of there. Had to cradle him down just like you look a modified.
All right, this is our official get back in place. We'll start back from a countdown of 5. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Whittemeyer just took a heck of a shot on the back end as Pickerel in the 228 came down and delivered a shot on Simon. Now we see the 21 of David Klein doing the same thing. Nose starting to go on the 777. Here comes Klinger going after Whittemeyer. Opened the left rear corner up like a can opener. Pickerel goes after the 777. Now here comes the 9E of Everman headlong into that black Ford out there. Klinger winds up his Mopar, goes after the... Oh, chooses not to hit anybody on that one. Ducks in line to hide. See the 90 of Everman going in on that 777. Axle breaker back end on that number 21 as we see Pickerel barreling down the track into the number 75. Up on the wall, trying to go for the rollover. Eyes the size of dinner plates inside the cockpit of that black Ford. Jake? Hey Jake, when you look down the track the long way, make sure to tip it up a little bit because we're getting a little bit too much fence. Pull the nose up, perfect, just like that. Nice, thank you.
As you were saying, the car that he had up here on his side, that kind of tricked me earlier too when he pulled in. That is actually a 63 Oldsmobile. 63 Oldsmobile, pre-ran, but it's been reclipped or restubbed, as you would say, with a 98 to 02
I
Ford.
I was about to say that it looked like that had a Ford core support in it. But that would not have been my first guess at all. An Oldsmobile, no less.
Well, I wasn't 100% sure myself until I kind of looked underneath and I seen it was C-framed underneath the doors.
When I was looking at the pillar, I was kind of defaulting to something along the lines of like a Fairlane. The C-post?
Yes, yeah. Another shot of Klinger here. He's definitely letting these guys know that he's here.
All right, so we are under a brief red flag period. Green flag in hand off to our right. Immediately in front of us, likewise. Ready to get underway. 5 cars will qualify. 13 cars took the initial green. We've already lost one, possibly a second now, as we see the 777 sitting empty. And there it goes! Fireman diving over the wall. What a rollover right here. Got it back on his wheel. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Woodstock. What a hit that was. Nose to nose. There goes Mark Wolf now. Headlong into the 75 of Barry. Here comes Everman one more time, head-to-head with Klein. Klein being shoved out of the park. People scrambling at the front of the track to get out of the way. Everman being told to back it up. Klinger lying in wait right now for an opportunity. Here comes Pickerel, going to try and catch one of them sleeping. Doesn't do it. So right to the back of that Y-framer. Here comes Whittemeyer into the front of the number 51. You can smell it trackside. That grape additive coming out of the stack. Smells like race fuel. Davidson in the 514 perched on the wall down here. We've lost 4 cars now. As that Oldsmobile, he's now out of the mix. Looking for a little bit of room to work with now. People becoming a little bit more aware that they're running out of time. Red flag being shown. The number 52 of Mark Wolf feverishly working under the dash now. As we see Whittemeyer going nose to nose with Pickerel. Here comes David Klein. Everhart focused solely on that number 21 after that rollover attempt. Couple people mentioning this, Jake, at home, that they want us to zoom out. Ladies and gentlemen, this is as zoomed out as it's going to get. We are literally 2 rows from the track. It gives us a good look lengthwise, but when they're immediately in front of us, oh my gosh, it is right on top of us. And what a handy piece of camera work that was by Jake, doing a great job focusing right on Everhart as he gets tipped right up on his roof. Roof bar, halo bar doing its job, keeping that roof upright. Roof sign looking a little laid over at this point, but nonetheless, he was able to get knocked back down onto all 4 wheels, and what a job he did getting that thing back underway. This, ladies and gentlemen, is why we love Woodstock. We have been trying to get down here. We finally got it put together and check this place out. We got to get the pace up a little bit here as now we began wandering down, to our last little bit. Red flag is out. Cars went over. They're not even going to worry about this gate. When Everhart went over, he took out the track fence right here where the crossover gate. So right now, fire crews looking at that, trying to determine if this is going to be an issue going forward through the course of this evening. General wave off is that they're saying no, it's not going to be a problem.
I just want to point out that, what is it, about 15 feet away from where I'm sitting? He was over on that. I got a little bit of a pucker going on there.
Are you enjoying it?
I am enjoying it.
Everhart going after the back of that GM. From David Klein, here comes Cope. Doesn't have a whole lot of damage to that number 19 at the moment. We did. You guys all nailed it. Had a bunch of people telling me. I'm following along with what's going on here in front of us. Just tagged Whittemeyer in the left rear corner, and it bent the wheel cover. The bead locker just got waffled right now. Another red flag out here on the track is Klinger and Everhart still out there logging hits. Coke in the number 19. It appears that Mopar might be a little hot. What would you say, Jake? Good look at Pickerel still out there in the mix. Keith Simon in the 51. The 409 of Mike Klinger also in the mix.
Yeah, right in front of us about a minute and a half ago. Pickerel was getting just a little bit of a warning from the officials to pick it up, and he started to.
7 cars left. Still looking for our top 5 to 1 in our final. And our green flags back.
About ready to get underway.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, winds it up, goes right after Pickerel. Good shot in that back end. Sunk the back of that Ford deep into the rear of that Chrysler. We have something like 5 or 6 cars right now. Pickerel still in the mix. Coke electing to use the back end, still on the number 19. Winds it up. Looked at Simon, didn't really put a real aggressive hit on him. Whittemeyer and the 75. What we might do is not at the moment. Come see me after the show. So we got a quick break in the action. What I'm thinking about doing is breaking the stream, stopping it, and then making something that's going to work a little bit slower, so that when we have these lags, it might tolerate them a little bit better. So what we're going to do is we're going to break briefly, and I will come right back here in a few moments. I'm going to make another stream that's going to handle these dips a little bit better, and hopefully we'll be able to stabilize this thing, because I see and now it's back down again, or back up again. We'll hang tight with this and see what it does for the next few minutes, and see if we keep getting these big swings. That's the reason why you're seeing any lags on the with the end user, so to say, is because for some reason we're getting large drops in bit rate. I don't know. It could be cell phones around here. It could be any number of different combinations of things. So what we're considering doing is breaking the stream and starting anew. But right now it's come back up.
Congratulations to all of our competitors. The top 5 moving on. We'll clear out the track. Get ready for our next heat. So freeze. I'd like to take a second to thank a few more of our sponsors: Virginia Repair Center, Highway Motors, Winchester Shop, Conference Barbecue, DB Bolt, Roller LLC, L&L Truck Repair, Valley Collision, Farmingtown Trailer Sales, Stillwater Auto Repair, LK Recovery, D&D Racing, Larry Wine, Foley Construction, Seaweed Trading, Lotus Landscaping, Woodstock USA, Jeremy Reinhardt Sled Trucking, A1 Portland Wood, Roadside Farm, Wild Racing Repair, Woodstock Equipment. I will take a moment to get things figured out here on the track. Don't forget there is food available behind the grandstand. T-shirts for sale. Restrooms are open. Feel free to get up and stretch your legs.
Okay, I think what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and break this, and we'll be back here